Yo guys, what is good? It's your boy Jongwon here, back again with another video. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 best sneakers of 2022. So like I've said in my previous videos, I'm going to be completely transparent here. I think 2022 was a terrible year for sneakers. I just felt like they kept dropping the same things over and over again. Not to mention, they just kept restocking the Panda Dunks. I just feel like this year they didn't release anything new. You know, you just kept seeing the same old Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, the same Yeezys dropping. And yeah, I didn't see any new concepts, any new collaborations. So for that reason, it was really dry in 2022. So overall, coming up with the top 10 list was pretty hard in my opinion. You know, I just didn't want to pick out the hypest shoes. I really wanted to pick out shoes that I liked and shoes that I would wear. The top 10 was really hard, but I will say though that the top 5 are a bunch of bangers that I was able to select without an issue. These are shoes that I would personally rock, that I would personally cop, but I also wanted to make sure that these were releases that were pretty big to the general public. So with that being said, let's hop into it. Alright, so coming in number 10 for one of the best sneakers of 2022 is actually the only sneaker that I have within this year's releases of sneakers, and that is the New Balance 550s Aimé Leon Dors in the white leather colorway. Alright, so if you guys subscribe to me, which if you have not, make sure to do that right now. I did a review on this 2 videos ago and it got me a whole bunch of views, so I'm guessing this shoe is pretty popular. On the other hand, I do think that this pair is a sleeper as the market price is really low. It's going for like $150, pretty much $20 over retail price. So yes, they are really affordable, and if you really just wanted to cop a pair for yourself, you can do so on StockX or eBay right now. And if you guys haven't seen my review, make sure to go check that out afterwards. That this sneaker is just really clean. I just love the premium materials that they used in creating the shoe. And when I did the review, I didn't know this before, but this is the first Aimé Leon Dors collab to have a more premium box compared to the flimsy cheap boxes that other pairs have had in the past. This colorway is just so clean. I just love the cream laces as well as the midsole right here. Very versatile. You can just wear them with anything. I've already worn these about 3 or 4 times. So there we have it, coming in at number 10, the Aimé Leon Dors 550s in the white leather colorway. Alright, so coming up at number 9 on this list is a sneaker that I almost did cop, and that is the Union Dunk in the pistachio colorway. When these sneakers dropped, they were pretty affordable. They were only going for like $260, $270. And yeah, for a Union collab, I think it was really worth it. And I almost copped it, but I decided not to just because I felt like I had a lot of neutral sneakers in my collection already. Overall, I felt like the colorway was just too similar to, the Jordan 1 lows in the Paris colorway or my Sean Cliver Dunks. So I ended up passing on them just because I didn't want too many sneakers with similar colorways. But I will have to say, within this list, this sneaker is probably the most controversial within the top 10 sneakers of 2022, just because a lot of people didn't like the Union collab with the Dunks. This was another shoe that I included on the most underrated sneakers of 2022. A lot of people just didn't like that plastic wrapping all over the shoe, but honestly, I thought that it was a pretty nice take and a nice concept of the shoe itself. I don't think that this was the best sneaker of 2022, but I do think that it was up there, so I have to give this number 9 spot to the Union Dunks. Coming up at number 8 on this list is a newer sneaker. It literally just dropped last week, and a lot of sneaker YouTubers don't have this on their list just because I think that they made this list a lot earlier than I did. But that is the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the Phantom Black colorway. Like most people, I went for this sneaker during the raffle and I lost on every single platform, which was really sad. Like with any other Jordan 1 Travis Scott collabs, if you were able to cop a W on this pair, chances are your profit margins would be insane. But if you were to ask a bunch of sneakerheads what is their take on this sneaker, they would probably say that this colorway is the worst of the Jordan 1 collab. While I don't necessarily disagree with them, I do think that the shoe has a pretty nice concept behind it. I am a fan of the materials that they used. If you guys know me, I'm really not a big fan of all black sneakers, but I will have to say that the patterns and the materials and the little details in the stitching just really sell it for me. I will say that if you're trying to grab a pair of Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows, this is the cheapest pair. It's pretty much going for a little bit under $1,000 right now. So if I were you, I'd cop it before the prices go up to, $1,500, $2,000. So here we have it at number 8, the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows in the Phantom Black colorway. I definitely think it deserves to be up here just because Travis Scott collabs never seem to fail us. Coming up at number 7 on this list is a sneaker that I personally like. I don't think it was too hype. It's definitely not an ugly sneaker, but I do think that other people gravitated towards other colorways. But here at number 7, we do have the Jordan 4 in the Midnight Navy colorway. Now, if you guys ask me, I do think that this sneaker is a little bit underrated. I feel that it should have gotten a lot more hype than it deserved. Just that shade of blue is pretty clean, and it's also really versatile that you can wear with anything. I can understand why the general public wouldn't have put this shoe on their list. They probably would have gravitated more towards the Red Thunder 4s. Even though the Red Thunder 4s are a pretty nice colorway, I don't think that they are necessarily wearable. A lot of people, when wearing the Red Thunder 4s, would typically wear all black, but with the Midnight Navies, you can pretty much dress it up, you can dress it down, and yeah, I just think that the Midnight Navies are a lot more wearable. I'm gonna check resale prices on the Midnight Navies right now because I haven't even seen a lot of people cop them. Alright, so they're not doing too bad over the market. They're probably going around like 310, 320. So that's not terrible, but I definitely think that more people should be talking about this sneaker. I would consider buying it if I didn't already have a pair of 4s myself. So here we have it at number 7 on this list, the Jordan 4s in the Midnight Navy colorway. Coming up on number 6, we do have the annual Jordan 11 releases. And this year, Jordan Brand decided to release the Cherry Reds. Now, I don't necessarily love the shoe itself, but I do love the personality and the story that the Cherry 11s bring out. You know, every single December, Jordan Brand decides to release an old colorway of the Jordan 11, and there's just some sort of nostalgia, and that just brings so much excitement to the overall public. You know, there's just something about sneakerheads being able to buy one of their favorite sneaker models of all times during the holidays, and it just feels like Christmas. Now, I love the color red, I love red sneakers, but I don't know if these would necessarily be a cop for me. But I do have to put the Jordan 11s on this list just because every single year, it's such a banger. You know, people waiting online just to cop a pair. So on behalf of the rest of the sneaker community, I have to give these love just because every single year, Jordan Brand has been blessing us with such nostalgia. I'm not a huge fan of Jordan 11s, but I do respect them a lot for what they represent in the sneaker community. So here we have it at number 6, the Jordan 11 Cherry Reds. These shoes definitely bring a whole lot of nostalgia that deserves a lot of respect. Alright, now moving on to the top 5 sneakers of 2022. I believe that all 5 pairs are bangers. So here we have it at number 5. We do have the Jordan 4s in the military black colorway. First off, I just wanted to put it out there that the Panda Dunks have just been so overplayed this year. They've just been pretty much the worst sneaker of 2022 in my opinion. And when I saw the military 4s release, I just was relieved just because I knew that a lot more people are going to be wearing this now. This is a classic black and white sneaker that will go well with anything. And I feel like with the Jordan 4s, you know, it's a classic sneaker. I feel like more people are just educated. They know a thing or two about sneakers, and they have a lot of respect to the Jordan 4s. I do think that the best thing about the shoe is their versatility. So I do think that the military blacks deserve a spot on this list at number 5. Moving on to number 4 on this list is a sneaker that ultimately screams nostalgia. It's one that has honestly started my passion for sneakers, and that is the Yeezy Turtle Doves. I know a lot of sneakerheads are moving past the Turtle Doves. You know, they're saying that was a time back then, but it just doesn't feel right to have them, you know, in this day and age. But I feel like with the sneaker as classic as the Turtle Doves, I feel like it's not right for people to say that this shoe should have stayed in 2017. A lot of sneakerheads are forgetting that this shoe was what started their passion. It definitely started my passion for sneakers, and when I finally got a pair, I felt like I had achieved a milestone. Now, this pair that I have right now is from the original release. I was able to cop a used pair a couple of years ago, and I just couldn't believe it that I finally was able to own a pair of Turtle Doves. But in considering the general majority, a lot of people weren't able to grab a pair of Turtle Doves, even though it's such a fire shoe that a lot of people should own. So while I think they probably shouldn't have released on Yeezy Day, I don't think that the public should complain complain that these restocked. A lot more people are able to get their hands on a pair now, and they're a lot more affordable than what they used to be. I think a pair is probably going for like $450 to $500 versus back in the day, these were going for like $1,200. I don't think people should be complaining because this is a classic shoe. I know a lot of older sneakerheads will say that the Jordan 1s and the Jordan 11s started their passions for sneakers, but for younger folks like me, just seeing the Yeezy Surface and seeing them, you know, paired with zipper pants and oversized tees was what really helped me get into fashion and the sneaker world. So I do have to give it to number 4 on this list, to the Turtle Doves, because they're just so classic and I feel like more people should be wearing this. I don't think that the Turtle Dove should just be for resale. So finally, on our top 3 sneakers of 2022, I feel like these top 3 are the same for everyone's. It's just in different orders. But at number 3, we do have the A Ma Maniére's Jordan 4s. These sneakers absolutely killed it this year. I feel like if it weren't for the other two, this would definitely be the sneaker of the year. Now the colorway itself is super fire. It's definitely a new concept in colorway that we haven't seen before, but when I walked into a consignment shop and I was able to hold a pair in my hands, the quality on these are just insane. Now when I held this pair in my hands, I was able to feel that quilted inner lining, and that material was crazy. I just feel like A Ma Maniére just kills it with the kind of materials that they use for their shoes. And yeah, there's not much else I can say just because this shoe just deserves to be on the top 3 spot. I feel like everyone definitely loves this shoe. I don't know anyone who would think this shoe is ugly. Like I said before, I would definitely consider copying this shoe if I didn't already have a pair of Jordan 4s. I love the Jordan 4s, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think that they're not a sneaker that I can afford to have multiple pairs of them. But maybe I'll be able to own a pair someday. So here we have it, coming at number 3. We do have the A Ma Maniére Jordan 4s. Moving on to number 2, the runner-up in my opinion of the sneaker of the year is an absolutely banger. And again, that is the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows in the reverse mocha colorway. Again, Travis Scott killed it with the sneaker. I feel like the color blocking is insane. One thing that I definitely do appreciate about the sneaker is the shade of brown that's used on the upper. You know, it's one thing to have a classic shade of brown on a shoe, but with this shade, it's kind of more of a brownish grayish colorway. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's super clean. I feel like this shoe, even though it looks crazy, it's actually not crazy because it would go with a whole bunch of outfits that you would pair it with. And if I wasn't already going for another pair of Travis Scott Jordan 1s, I would probably be going for this one just because that is a clean sneaker. I think everyone can agree that if it weren't for the number 1 spot on this list, that the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Lows in the reverse mocha colorway would have it as the sneaker of the year. So coming up at number 2, this sneaker is absolutely fire. So before I get to number 1, which probably most of you guys already know which sneaker that is, I wanted to go over some runner-ups, you know, some sneakers that didn't necessarily make the top 10 in my opinion, and that is the Jordan 185 Georgetowns, the Jordan 4 Red Thunders, like I've said before. I also feel like a lot of the New Balance sneakers deserve this spot on this list just because colorways have been pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. I was also considering the Kobe Mambacitas, but I'm not too big into Kobe, so I don't think I would be true to myself if I put that on my list. The Cardinal 3s were also a sneaker that I kind of wanted to put on this list, but I definitely feel like the Jordan 3 Fire Reds were a lot more popular. And lastly, I considered putting the Jordan 1 Yellow Taxis on this list, but I felt like they weren't too crazy this year and they're not going for too much over resale, so not a really popular shoe. A nice shoe, but I definitely think my Lightning Jordan 4s are so much better. And finally, on number 1 on this list, we do have the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. This was a sneaker that definitely got the most people excited. This release finally gave a lot of sneakerheads the opportunity to own a Jordan 1 Chicago. You know, before this release, having a Jordan 1 Chicago is pretty rare. This is a classic colorway that a lot of people would kill to have in their collection, but because of the Last Dance documentary and just the high resale prices, a lot of people didn't actually have the opportunity to own a pair. So to reiterate, the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds gave a lot of sneakerheads the opportunity to finally own a pair. And yeah, I would definitely own a pair of Jordan 1 Lost and Founds if I didn't already own the Jordan 1 Spider-Mans. I don't think that I need another pair of red Jordan 1s in my collection, and I'm really happy with the pair that I have right now. I'd honestly pick these any day over the Lost and Founds, just because of Spider-Man, but I do think that the Lost and Founds deserve a lot of respect. They were pretty widely available, although I wasn't able to get a pair, but if you were able to snag a pair for retail, then congrats to you, man. So here we have it at number 1 on this list. The sneaker of the year is the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. I know a lot of people will definitely have this at their number 1 spot as well. This is a no-brainer. There we have it, guys. Those are the top 10 best sneakers of 2022. Let me know what you guys think of my list. Overall, I did try to have a general balance with my list. You know, I tried to pick sneakers that I personally liked that weren't necessarily so popular, but also sneakers that definitely changed the game for the overall sneaker community. And if there were any sneakers that I failed to mention and that weren't on the list, make sure to leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to hear more from me guys, smash the subscribe button. And moving on to 2023, I'm really excited to be uploading a whole more content for you guys. I'm really trying to make the year 2023 the year that I kind of move in YouTube. I need your support. I need your help. So please, please, please subscribe. With that being said, these are the top 10 sneakers of 2022. And I will see you guys in the next year. Peace.